Did you ever notice how some people seem to always be overwhelmed? They just always like, oh, I just got so much to do and I can't keep track of it all and I'm falling. And like some people are just falling apart. Have you ever noticed that? Don't we all know people that are just a hot mess all the time, right? And then we also know people who have, two jobs and a family and children and four hobbies and coach a baseball team and on the softball league and they have bowling league on the weekends. And people that have a billion things going on all the time, but yet seem perfectly relaxed and perfectly at ease. So how in the world is that possible? And I think that after taking a hard look at some of the most successful people and some of the books that I've read and talking with and interviewing some of the top producers and in some of the companies that I work with and things like that, I believe that what it really all comes down to is priorities. See, I believe that we have a choice of whether to be overwhelmed or not. Some people are overwhelmed just being overwhelmed, right? Some people are extremely busy just thinking about how busy they are all the time, right? I think that being overwhelmed is a choice. I think that we have the ability to make decisions. And a lot of it necessarily is not a conscious decision like, oh, I'm going to wake up and be overwhelmed today. But what I mean by that is that we have the choice to either feel overwhelmed or not. And really, I think what overwhelm is it is a feeling of being out of control, right? And there's a law Brian Tracy talks about, the law of control, that states you only feel good about yourself to the degree to which you feel you are in control of your life. So if you feel out of control, like there's too many things pulling at you, too many things going on, when you feel overwhelmed, you feel out of control. And when you feel out of control, you don't feel very good about you. Your self-confidence goes down, your productivity goes down, you're less effective in all areas. So what's the answer to being overwhelmed? And after careful research and reading and talking and interviewing, I believe that the answer is priorities. What you'll find as a common theme amongst very, very successful people is that they know, with as much as they have going on in their lives and with as many different things as they have happening, they know the specific things that must get done every day. And if those things get done, everything else is cake. Everything else is gravy, right? And so let's go back to our discussion of a battle rhythm. You guys remember when we talked about having a battle rhythm meant that you had a plan for your day, you had a calendar where you had time blocked off to do the things that are important to you. And then we talked about being able to map and being able to track tasks daily that you know you must accomplish that are going to move you in the direction of your goal. Well, I'm going to simplify that for you here and take it down to priorities, so that we can talk about how to alleviate that feeling of overwhelm, get your self-esteem back, get your sense of self-control back, and be more effective and more productive and get more done and still have more free time at the end of the day. So how in the world do you do that? Well, here's the answer. Figure out your big three. That's the first thing you must do. Now, your big three are the three things that you're trying to get accomplished in your life. For most people, that's a physical goal, a relationship type of goal, and also a financial goal. So for me, as an example, one of my big three involve getting to a certain position within the company that I work with. I have a date that I've set to get some things accomplished within that company that also equates to a financial goal and a certain sum of money at the conclusion of that, right? So I have a financial goal in that way. And then I have a health and wellness goal. I have a poundage that I want to get to, right? A weight loss goal that I want to get to, and also a fitness level that I want to get to in terms of running and being able to do some things like that. And then I have a third goal, which is to get my book published and done by Christmas. And those are my big three priorities, and in that order. Now, if you take your big three and you say, look, and by the way, Darren Hardy says if you have more than three priorities, you probably don't have any. So you've got to find the three things that are the most important to you, that you're dying to get done, you're trying to get done, things that you have to have happen in your life. You have that whatever it takes sort of attitude about. Figure out those big three and then isolate within those big three 2 or 3 activities that you must engage in order to move forward with those goals. So for example, I know that in my business goal and my financial goal, I have 2 activities that I must engage in that involve prospecting and involve doing presentations or prospecting appointments. And so I've set aside the task, the daily task of I must do X amount of prospecting, I must do X amount of presentations in order to meet that goal every single day. And then for my weight loss goal, I know that I need to eat with discipline, and I've defined that for myself, right? And then I know that I must exercise a cardiovascular exercise 5 days a week and weight training 3 days a week. And I had that delineated. I had that written down. And then for publishing, I know that I want to write 1 hour a day during the week, and then 4 hours total over the course of the weekend. And knowing those tasks, if I know I get those tasks done, then I know I'm moving in the direction of accomplishing those big three. Now, the rest of everything in the world that needs to get done, taking the trash out, getting the bills paid, cleaning up the truck, whatever, all these other things, those are gravy. If I can get those in, that's great. But if I can't, I know that I must do the 2 or 3 tasks that I have assigned to my big 3 priorities every day. Now, when you do this, here's what happens. You've prioritized your day. You've said, listen, the other stuff can fall secondary to these things. Now, I'm going to caveat that with, in addition to your big 3 priorities and the tasks that you'll associate with them, I'm going to also suggest that you do this. I'm going to also suggest that you have 2 or 3 things that you are absolutely non-negotiable about that have to do with family or spirituality. Because sometimes you don't necessarily have a family goal. Like, I don't have a goal to have a great marriage. I already have a great marriage. I'd like to keep it. That's a goal, right? But what I do is I have 2 or 3 things that are non-negotiable, such as I do reading at night, spiritual reading at night, and then I also have time with my spouse and with my children that I've blocked off on my schedule, and those are non-negotiable, okay? So I'm gonna say that for this exercise, in order of priority, right, in order to get your priorities in order, here's what you do. You figure out what things are non-negotiable to you from a family or relationship or spiritual side. You block that time off on your battle rhythm, on your calendar, and you put that away. That can't be touched. And then you isolate your top 3 priorities, isolate the 2 or 3 tasks that you must engage in every day or so many times a week in order to reach those goals, in order to achieve those priorities. And if you can get those things done, everything else is gravy. And if you do this, here's what will happen. You'll finish up every day having done the things you needed to do to reach your goals. So you'll be moving more towards your goals. You'll also have a feeling of accomplishment and a feeling of self-control about your day. And think about how empowered you're going to be when you know, at the end of your day, as exhausted as you may be, that you got done what you needed to get done to move you towards your goals, and that you're in motion towards those things. Because some folks go to sleep at the end of every day feeling like, my gosh, I'm so exhausted. I was running all day and all I did was work all day, but I don't feel like I accomplished a thing. Have you ever felt that way? Typically, that's because you've spent the majority of your day answering emails or having a text message conversation that seemed really important at the time. But if it didn't fall into the tasks you need to accomplish to meet your top 3 priorities, then it shouldn't be a priority, right? Sometimes you just got to let the phone ring. Sometimes you got to let the text message just go. If checking Facebook doesn't move you closer to your goal, maybe that's something that needs to be saved until 10:30 at night when you're sitting on the couch watching TV. My point is that you can be like an octopus on roller skates, right? Lots of activity in no direction, or you can prioritize your life to move in the direction of your goals, feel good about yourself, gain your self-control back, and begin to accomplish amazing things in your life. With that, guys, you are armed with the knowledge to lay out your battle plan for tomorrow and go out there today and make it a great day.